They do. So we differentiate between operating neutral and element neutral. So in the circulatory system, we see that we have three main elements. Neutral as the heart, as the origin where the pump starts to move the blood. So the heart is neutral. The arteries that move the blood outside are hetero, and the veins that bring back to origin, bring back to the heart are homo. Neutral is a harmonizing force that makes the whole circulation happen. Now let's look at another model when we can see an element, neutral as an element. Heart is neutral, beginning, sending the blood out through the arteries, expansion. I'm just repeating what I've said several times. The heart is neutral, starting origin point, and then hetero, expansion of the blood through the arteries, and then in the capillaries actually, which is the biggest amount of blood vessels in the body, in the capillaries where the real change happens, where the oxygen is delivered to the cell, the nutrients, where the waste is taken out, the capillaries actually are neutral. They are the most important in a sense. This is where the life really happens on the cellular level. Capillaries and microcapillaries delivering blood and oxygen, nutrients to all the system, to the eye and the organs. And it is the biggest net of blood vessels, bigger than arteries and veins, much bigger. You have them everywhere. So in terms of functionality, the capillaries are much more important, and in terms of number and space they occupy, they are much more important. Neutral is always the most important, the bigger and the bigger in most cases. This is one way you can see what is neutral when you have four elements. So heart neutral, arteries hetero, capillaries neutral, and from the capillaries back again into the venous system, back homo. Neutral, hetero, neutral, homo. You have four elements, and at the same time, neutral is operating as a tour operator, is moving all of them harmoniously in the body. So two different types of neutral as an element and neutral as an operator. Neutral as an operator is often invisible, you don't see it, but it's always present. It is the one that makes things move and shift in a harmonious manner so they will exist. It is the one that prevents from this pen to collapse because homoforce is too strong and the contraction force will be too intense and it will implode. And it is also the one that prevents from this pen to expand, change forms, and then dissipate in the atmosphere as the particles separate because the expansion force is too strong. It is keeping things together in a harmonious manner, so they will stay. This will also decay, but it might take 1,000 years or 10,000 years. If you leave an apple outside, it will last for a few months or a few weeks or a few months or a few years, but eventually heteroforce will evaporate the liquid, homoforce will contract it, and it will disappear. So time and space change, but thanks to homo, they change slow, and thanks to heteros, they change fast enough. This is why we are born and we have a lifespan. So we have neutral as an element, that is the capillaries, and each time you can count four, you can assign which one is homo, hetero, neutral, and neutral. In the four limbs, in the four chambers of the heart, in everything. Let's give an example of the continents. One continent is the smallest. You can say Australia. Hetero. Wow. one piece of land. Another has two main pieces, America, North and South America, because actually the Panama Canal is artificial. So it's one made of two pieces, North and South America. And then there's another one, Europe, Asia and Africa, which is actually one large piece of land, because the Suez Canal is also artificial, so it's the biggest. It is a neutral continent. Hetero is Australia, kind of remote, one. Two is America, with North and South America. And three is Eurasia, Africa, one large continent, the biggest. Only neutral is left, Antarctica, far away, frozen, where life is almost impossible, zero nature, below 0 degree, a lot of it is ice, like Newton. 4 oceans, the Indian Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, the Pacific Ocean, and the Arctic Ocean. Indian Ocean is hetero, Atlantic is homo, colder, Pacific is neutral. And actually, if you take Arctic Ocean, which is neutral, Atlantic Ocean, which is homo, and Indian Ocean, which is hetero, when you combine the whole amount of water in these 3 oceans, and you compare it to the Pacific Ocean amount of water, the Pacific is bigger than the 3 of them united. So neutral is usually biggest and bigger than the sum of all the others. Like the capillaries being much more than in surface than the veins and the arteries and the heart together. So neutral is, as an element, is usually bigger or the biggest, and in which you find the most amount of life as well. If we speak about energy systems, we have the meridian system, which is with lines, which is hetero. We saw the line is hetero. We have the chakra system with the wheels, with the round circles, which is homo. We have the point systems, which is neutral, like the point, neutral, like the acupuncture points and the energy points. And we have a spiral system, which is neutral, including vertical energy lines, horizontal energy lines, energy points, and spirals. We said body is homo, mind is hetero, soul is neutral, and life is body, mind, and soul neutral. What we can see here are 4 different diagrams showing the creation order, creation model order, and the patterns. And we see from the neutral hetero force coming and homo force coming and uniting in neutral force. From soul, body, mind, body, and combined together life. As body and mind come together to create life, when life is created, soul is joining. The source is connecting back. From 0 neutral, which is the shadow of existent spirits, neutral, the gate is open. First gate is an energy comes and creates hetero changing force, creation force. Instantly after hetero comes homo, contraction force, to bring hetero back to 0 world. And after this, neutral force appears to balance between neutral, hetero, and homo. And once neutral, which is perfection and harmony, appears, we can see infinite neutral.